morning, guys. Here we are again. It is Monday, April 30th, last day of April, and it is 45 degrees here. It's been a minute since I've been on here. I think it's been like a week, and I'll tell you a couple of things. Number one, for the entire month of April, I have still been fighting this crud, whatever this is, this cough, this, that's it really, this cough and this kind of nasal thing that's been going on. I'm trying not to cough right now because we're talking about it. Sorry, it's just easier to let it go. So, all of my videos have had this terrible cough in it because, believe it or not, I have actually filmed about 5 videos and dumped them. Actually, I haven't dumped them. They're sitting in my gallery because I've either coughed through them, had to pause them every 3 seconds to cough, or, in my opinion, they just weren't exciting. So, I don't know. I will say, I have not left. I did not stop tracking. I was taking a break from the exhaustion of trying to talk to a video, because I teach all day, so I do that all day anyway, talk to a group of people, that when I get on here and try to do it with you guys, I get this winded thing, as you notice, where I have to stop every couple of minutes because I can't breathe through my nose. So I'm back to taking a teaspoon of honey every day, local raw honey, which will help my allergies. And no, I don't count it because I see it as medicine. If it starts to mess with my weight loss, then I'll adjust. My goodness, the sun. I wait all year for the sun, and then it betrays me. I can't even find where it is to block it out. There we go. So let's talk about numbers, and I want to talk about not fair. The words not fair. Remember when you were a little kid and you're like, that's not fair? Your parents said, life's not fair. I feel like I'm living life right now not fair, and I'll tell you why. So I worked, well, let me tell you where I've been. So this past weekend was Amber's unofficial engagement party, meaning this when she asked all of her bridesmaids and groomsmen and whatever to be in the wedding. They already knew they were in the wedding, but she asked them, and, you know, gave them all a little gift, whatever. It also happened to be one of our favorite celebrations, which is called May Day, and it's called many different names, and I know that it doesn't happen until tomorrow, but we can't celebrate on a Tuesday. So we got all of their friends together and some family and celebrated, and she wanted a Viking theme, which kind of goes along with the theme of the day anyway. So we had a tree full of streamers for the May Day pole, which is like totally freaking Norm's OCD out now, because it didn't come down, because it started to rain and we figured it would come down in the rain. Yeah, it didn't. We had a bonfire. We had a low table with lights, like a bohemian like backyard party. We had so much food and axe throwing and knife throwing, and they camped in the backyard. So the next morning, because there was mead, and my future son-in-law makes homemade mead, and it's really good. I did have 1 cup of that, and then, you know, so they camped it because I didn't want them to drive. So then the next day they woke up and they built a fire, they cleaned up, and then there were donuts, and so yeah. So I decided that I'm going to start tracking my weight on Friday morning. But I'm still not going to get my points until Monday. So I'm not going to get any new points until Monday. So the only reason I'm doing that is because I tend to eat my weeklies, some of my weeklies. I don't ever eat all of my weeklies, but the weeklies that I do eat, I tend to do on the weekend. So if I weigh in on Monday, I'm setting myself up for failure like every weekend. So I've decided to weigh in on Fridays for 2 weeks now, and I've had a loss for 2 weeks in a row. So 2 Fridays ago, I was 169 and point something, I don't really remember. And this past Friday, I was 168. So this weekend's Viking party, which I'll insert some pictures because there were some really pretty pictures. So this weekend's past Viking party, I knew that I was going to indulge because one of the things that Amber wanted was kind of Viking looking table, and every time I would like Pinterest Viking themed party food, there would be these platters of meat and cheese, and you guys know cheese is like weakness for me. So I got some really good cheeses, and I got some cured meats and roasted chickens, which I still have 2 huge roasted chickens left, which you'll be seeing those this week in my food. And because we just got rotisserie chicken. I don't know, I just lost my train of thought. So what I decided to do is on Saturday, I cleared all my 23 points and I took half of the weeklies that I had. And I would not say that I ate with abandon. I didn't just, in the past, like we had chips and dip, and in the past I'd have just stood there and ate chips and dip over and over and over and over and over. There was also vegetables and dip, and there was also fruit, which the kids killed in the first like hour. I did, I'm going to tell you, have a little bit of everything. One of our, one of the people who come over and celebrate with us when we have our celebrations makes these moon cookies. They're just like a powdered sugar cookie, but oh dear Lord. They are so good. They look so like, don't eat that because it looks like it's dough with like flour still on it, but it's not, it's powdered sugar. And it is the most delicious thing. And I gotta tell you, I had a couple of those. And the next day, Sunday, I had 2 with my coffee because they were so good with coffee. Anyway, so long story short, as Sandy would say over at Let's Get Fit from, I think it's Raiders of the Lost Ark, I chose poorly this weekend. I didn't eat a big volume of food, but the foods that I chose to eat were not fabulous for me. There was a spinach artichoke dip, there were crackers, but mostly, in all reality, mostly my biggest problem was those cookies and the cheese. You guys know, cheese is like an addiction for me. I don't keep it in the house because I can't. So, we did get a little rain during the party. So, I don't know if you guys ever noticed, but when it rains at a party and you're outside, either you have to take the food in and then people don't go in to eat it because my family and friends do not care about the rain. Or, you know, the food starts to get wet or it's under a tarp. I don't know. I just feel like when it rains at a party like that, people don't eat as much. And I had these roasted chickens and people didn't really eat those either. And I feel like I should have carved them up because we also had wings, and boy, they ate the wings like crazy. I should have carved the chickens up, maybe kept one whole chicken and carved the others. So it looked like finger food or whatever, and they could have eaten that. But anyway, so I chose poorly this weekend, and I ate whatever I wanted. Although, like I said, I don't feel like I ate a large volume of food. I just feel like the foods that I did eat were not the best for me, were not the best choices. And because it was cheese, as cheese always does, it messed with my digestion and things didn't move. So, although I'm weighing in on Friday, so my Friday weight was 168. My Monday weight when I got my new points was 171. So can we just talk for a minute? I'm only using that as data. It won't matter till on Friday, so I got a whole week to try to get back where I was. Probably won't happen, but we'll see. But can we just talk for a second, one little tiny second, about how it took me months to get in the 60s. Months to get there. It took me literally one day, maybe a day and a half, because I didn't choose great on Sunday. One weekend to get back into the 70s. Months to get out, one weekend to get back up. And not like I went 169, 170. I went 168, 171. Now I know some of it is just, you know, my body hanging on to some bad stuff I ate. And it'll come off, and I'm not too worried about it. But my goodness, it's just so unfair. I think if it takes you a weekend to put on, it should take you a weekend to come off. So I'm a little miffed and bummed at myself, but I'm letting it go. So I'm back in the 170s at the moment. However, if someone were to ask me today, and I say this all the time, I only give my official weight. Not that anyone walks around asking me what my weight is, but if someone asks me, how much do you weigh? I only give my official weight. So whatever I weighed in on my official weigh day, that's what I give. So, just my little thing. So a little non-scale victory this weekend. So I started to say, you know, food, a lot of times when a party is raining, it doesn't get eaten completely. So I brought it in the house because they were spending the night. I told them, come in and eat all night. They did. A lot of it was gone. However, Saturday night, because I kind of looked at the food that I left on the table when I went to bed. And I said, all right, this is what I'm willing to leave out. This is what I'm not willing to let go bad. So I put the chickens in the refrigerator because I knew I could eat on them all week. And I put the cheese away. Force a habit. And the vegetables, because I wanted the vegetables. So I put the cheese away thinking, I don't know what. I don't know. Was I going to eat it later in the week? I didn't know. So yesterday morning, as I was cleaning up, and it took us like all day to clean. Now don't get me wrong. We cleaned and then we'd sit by the fire, and then we'd clean and then we'd mess up again, and you know, we'd mess up the yard or we'd mess up the kitchen or whatever. So we had to take tents down and we had to take lights down, and you know, just a lot of stuff that we had to do. And again, I'll show you the pictures. But my husband brought donuts. Okay, I didn't touch the donuts, not even a little bit. I meal prepped yesterday while everybody else was taking tents down. I did a real quick meal prep, just for lunches. I kept everything real simple this week. A lot of rotisserie chicken, because I have a lot of rotisserie chicken. But here's my non-scale victory, besides meal prepping while I still had guests over. My other one is, so as I was eating those 2 moon cookies, which I counted, yesterday I was still in my points yesterday. No, I don't think I got a blue dot. I think I went a little bit over, but I had some weeklies. So as I was meal prepping yesterday, I ate the 2 moon cookies, and it was, of course, I did one of those horrible things where I say, well, there's only 2 left, so let me eat them so I don't have them the rest of the week. Totally old school thinking, but it's what I did. You know, I already messed up my weekend, might as well have the moon cookies, right? Monday's a new week kind of thing. Bad Lisa. However, my non-scale victory was this. After I ate the moon cookies, I was still hungry because, of course, cookies aren't going to fill me up. So I said, all right, well, what can I eat since I already messed up the week? What can I eat and, you know, enjoy? Pulled out the cheese. All the cheese. All the meat. Right? Arranged it on a beautiful platter. I ate a piece of cheddar, I had this blueberry cheese. I'm not even sure what the cheese itself was, but there was blueberries in it. Oh my gosh. I love fruit cheese, by the way. Had some blueberry cheese, had a small piece of Gouda, and a piece of pepperoni. Looked at the cheese and thought, and there was a lot of cheese left, and thought, you're gonna sit here and eat this whole thing because you're gonna do the same thing with the moon cookie that you did, you know, or you're gonna do the same thing with the cheese that you did with the moon cookies. You're gonna look at it and go, let's get it out of the way so it's gone, right? Well, first of all, that would have been terrible digestion, but also it would have, you know, points-wise, it would have been ridiculous. I figured what I did eat, that little bit I did eat, was already like 13 points. So I cut it up, I made it look pretty, put it on a platter, I walked it out to everybody who, because there was probably, of the 20 or so people, maybe 23 people that were there the night before and had camped and stayed and whatever, I want to say there was probably 10 or 12 still left, and they had eaten some donuts that Norm had brought. They hadn't eaten anything else. I took the platter out. They were sitting around the fire. I took the platter out around the fire, handed it to Amber, and walked away. Came in the house and cleaned the kitchen. Hours it sat out there, right? And then when Amber was done, or when they were all done, I said, where's my platter? And she went out and got it, and she brought it back in, and it was basically gone, right? There was hardly anything left. And I looked at it and I said, there's like maybe a pinch of each thing left. And I thought, you know, it's been sitting out by the fire. Everybody's had their hands in it. I'm just gonna throw it away. I just don't want it. So the little pieces that were left that normally I would have thrown away, or I would have stood there and eat because the party was over, I threw them away. So first of all, cutting it all up and giving it away as opposed to hoarding it. Like in the past, when the party's been over, I've taken the cheese and put it away because I knew I was going to eat it. I love cheese. This time I gave it away. I said, you know, I can have cheese whenever I want it. I have money in my wallet. I can go get cheese right now if I want it. And I want it, but I'm not going to do it. So I gave it all away. I know it sounds dumb, right? Like I'm giving away my millions. And on top of that, on top of giving it away, this guy came like right up on me like he was gonna hit me. On top of giving the cheese away, when I brought it back in and there was a little bit left, I threw it away. So I feel really good about that. I'm really not happy with being up on the scale today, but I'm not, but I understand it. I enjoyed myself. We had a good time. We laughed. We sang. We danced. We celebrated together both Amber and Josh's engagement and wedding coming up. So it was kind of like a wedding kickoff, but also just kind of love and new beginnings and all those things that come with May Day. And we had a great time. So, and I think Amber was happy, and that's all that matters. And now I'm back on track. And it's part of Weight Watchers, you know? It's part of Weight Watchers' life. I'm living the life. I'm living my life. And if I just stood there on Saturday and Sunday when all the people were over and everybody having a great time and tried to say, well, I'm just going to have this roasted chicken and I'm just going to have some vegetables and no dip and no bread, because there were these huge loaves of bread that were so good, and no dip and none of this and no cheese, I would have deprived myself, and I would have probably had 12 moon cookies instead of probably the 4 I had. If I had said I'm not going to have the glass of mead that Josh works for months to make before these celebrations, I would have deprived myself, and I wasn't going to do that. So I lived my life, and that's what matters. And now I'm back on plan for the week, and we'll see what Friday holds. We'll see what Friday has in store, and I'm okay. I'm okay with it. I don't think it's fair that I can put 3 pounds on in a weekend and take a month and a half to get them off, but life's not fair. So anyway, it's Monday. I hope you guys are having a fabulous week so far. I'm running a little late today. I had to stop and get gas. So I'm gonna jump off of here, drink my coffee, rest my voice, and I will show you guys what I eat later. I have decided that I don't need breakfast. I did bring a half of a Premier Protein, which I think that I will drink if I get hungry. And then the rest of the week, I'm going to bring hard-boiled eggs to have if I get hungry. But I haven't been hungry at breakfast time the last, like, week or so. So, almost like a fast, although I do have coffee. I'm not eating until lunchtime. And my lunchtime's 12:15, so it's not, like, super late or anything. So, anyway, I will see you guys when I eat something.